And we're back for our last segment. We've been talking to Roe Salde, Neurolinguistic Programming Master and hypnotherapist. I was afraid she was going to hypnotize me throughout this break here, but luckily I think I dodged the bullet there. But I'm happy to have her on the show because I really feel like I get real life tools, strategies, and more importantly, techniques in order to address some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that I experience. And more importantly, she helps me as a person create some positive changes in my life in order to walk into the future life that I want to create. So let's share that gift with everybody that's tuning in and listening right now. Ro, how do you, through the practices that you have, help people address some of their self-sabotaging beliefs and actually help individuals create those kind of changes instantaneously? Because I know you've done it with me, so I want you to share it with everybody else.
So how do I help people break limiting beliefs? I think that the easiest way is to write down all of your, I invite you all, really, just do that. Write all of your limiting beliefs. Everything starts with a statement that I am not good at, or I can't do ... Just write it down on a paper, and then just ask yourself this one simple question. It will really change everything along the way for you. And ask yourself, when did I decide that? So if I say I'm not good at, at math, when did I decide that? And I'll know exactly when did I decide that, because there will be that time, maybe it's one teacher that told me, oh, you're really bad at math. You're good at English, but you're really bad at math. And those limiting beliefs will start breaking because you'll know when did they form. And sometimes you say, I don't know when I decide that. And that would be enough to break that limiting belief.
I think it also ties into building confidence and self-esteem. And it often makes me wonder whether it's a nature-nurture question. Are you built with it, or is it something that you nurture over time like you're suggesting right now? How do you encourage people, or how do you get people to build confidence and their self-esteem as well too?
That's a good question. I've heard something. I don't remember where. I have a bad memory when it comes to who and why. So excuse me if I'm not giving references. But there is okay. So what happens is, in short, if you succeeded in something, now you have a reference in your head, a memory of you succeeding in it. So you're gonna keep going and get better at it. But if one time you have failed at something, this is the last memory you have of it. And now every time you would want to do it, that's what comes up, and you feel like a failure. So it's that moment where you want to do it again and fail forward until you change that memory into something that is more positive, and it will give you motivation to keep on going. So it's just taking that one step of keep going forward, even if you are failing in something. You want to create that good reference in your head that will give you more motivation to become better. Does that make sense?
I think what I hear you saying is creating the distinction between the story that you created based on that false evidence that you believe to be real and what actually happened. Like what actually happened that allowed you to feel or experience that emotion when you're in that state. Whether you were rejected by a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a teacher, a best friend, or not being able to achieve something because you failed at it once, or you just didn't try hard enough, or you didn't have the right tools. And I think, creating the right story around that experience and changing the outcome is, I think, the greatest breakthrough that I'm experiencing listening to you right now and learning from you as well too. I know some of us are procrastinators or maybe lack a certain type of motivation. I know sometimes just because it's painful. I know we all live in this pain-pleasure dichotomy, and procrastination for me is delaying the pain. Mm-hmm. And actually enjoying the pleasure of not having to go through this horrible task of whatever it may be. But procrastination really is what ends up affecting us in so many different ways, whether it's studying for an exam and having to stay up all night long, or not being prepared for a presentation, or a radio show, or podcast, or an exam, or whatever the case may be. There's got to be a better strategy that you can share on overcoming procrastination and increasing the motivation that you need in order to conquer the challenges and the tasks that we all experience in our life.
Yeah, and trust me, I experience procrastination every single freaking day myself. And what I do with myself, that's what I do. This is my strategy. I'll share it with you. Some of you might enjoy it. I have a to-do list, but I put it in chunks. And I don't put more than 5 things in my to-do list, because more than that it looks overwhelming to me.
Correct.
And I'll start with the smallest tasks, the most tedious tasks. Sorry, they're like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. But the moment, and they're the most annoying one, right? Because they're like, I don't know, call somebody or send an email. Those are the worst one for me. And the moment you check them, you already feel like you accomplished something, and it gives you fuel to keep going to the next step. And I will ask myself at the beginning of every day, before I look at my task list, is what is the smallest thing that I can do today that's going to give me the biggest results for me today? And that's it, just for today. And that helps me. So I hope this will help you.
But I guess it's creating that slight edge, right? It's just doing that one thing.
Start the engine.
Just take that first step.
Yeah.
You know, it's like having that treadmill in the house, but instead of putting your clothes on it, maybe just get on it for 30 seconds. Maybe for a minute. And before you know it, you'll be on it for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all about shortcuts. I want to try and figure out the fastest, easiest, quickest way on how to do anything. Is there any technique you can share to improve your overall well-being and happiness?
Honestly, just gratitude. Every day, write 10 things you're grateful for. This will spike your happiness level tremendously. It sounds so, simple, but it's so true. So simple. Everybody says that, yeah, I know. Everybody says the same thing. Be grateful, write 10 things. It actually works. Give it the chance for a week. See what happens when you write every day, when you wake up or before you go to sleep. What are you grateful for?
And it's funny because you can't actually be angry and grateful at the same time. And they always say higher levels of energy always nullify lower levels of energy. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm picking gratitude today. And I'm grateful for you to be here as well too. Talking about gratitude, because I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that are definitely connecting with what you have to say. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they wanted to connect with you, get a coaching session, or just learn more about what it is that you do?
So they can follow me on Instagram, which is Roe Salde, ROESALD. They can definitely visit my website, which is mental-shift.com. And those would be the best ways to reach me, honestly.
Want to touch on one last thing, and it's mastering the inner game of communication, which is enhancing that self-talk and, more importantly, the choice of language to improve everything, your motivation, your confidence, your overall effectiveness. Talk to us about the power of words and exploring what impact language has on your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors in order to transform that internal dialogue and transform your life.
So words are everything, right? They say words are stronger than help me out, than swords, than words hit stronger than whatever. Okay, you know what I mean? Because words are so powerful, and when we use negative self-talk or just words that are harsh with ourselves, it makes us feel like shit. Sorry that I'm saying it like this.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that word on there.
Sorry guys. But it makes us feel, it makes us feel really, really bad. So be kind to yourself. Use good words with yourself. When you catch yourself saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, reframe it right away. because it's so easy to go down this rabbit hole, and from I'm not good enough is I'm a failure, and then I'll never succeed, and you just go down this like really just a black hole. So when you catch yourself, just change it as to whatever it is for you, a reframe. I am good, there's a lot of things that I'm good at, and I'm actually now working towards becoming better at the things that I want to. Just reframe everything, guys. I mean, you only have one life, one soul, and just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and you'll see how your mind is going to be kind to you back.
And if you don't like the reality that you're living in, just change it. Tell yourself a different story. I think we all focus on the results of our life. When you're looking at a tree, the results equate to the fruits of our life. You know, we look at them and we say, not sweet enough, not red enough, not big enough. And really, there are manifestations, or they are the results of the things that are created, not in a physical form, but in what's invisible to the eye. And what's invisible to the eye are the three other quadrants that we often don't pay attention to, which is our emotional state, our mental state, and our spiritual state of being, in order to create these beautiful results in the physical form. Ro, it's always a pleasure to have you as a guest on my show. If you want to get a hold of Ro, visit her on her Instagram page at Roe Salde, that's ROESALDE, and you can always visit her website, which is mind-shift.com. You're listening to your host, DAWOOD BEDROSIAN. You can always catch me right here from 11 to 12 on Florida Man Radio on my show, Real Sense Now, where we cover basically all things real estate and anything else that's trending that's cool for me to want to share with you in this world. And of course, and any one of my social media platforms, that's LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, by just typing in my name, DAWOOD BEDROSIAN. Guys, thank you for listening in, and we'll catch you right here every Saturday from 11 to 12. Thank you, and see you next week.